Hi Aditya, welcome to Lawpolitan. So Aditya, you've cleared IIT JEE and UPSC, the two most difficult exams in India, and that too with flying colors. What do you think is the X factor which helped you clear these exams?
Say that there have been multiple factors behind that. Firstly, I would say my parental guidance. My father especially took a lot of interest in carving my career path. Secondly, I would say consistently had a bit of hard work, which also I drew inspiration from my relatives, including my father. And thirdly, I would definitely say a bit of luck, because all these exams are such competitive exams in a country which such a huge population that without a bit of luck, you can't succeed.
If a student decides to prepare for UPSC exam today, what according to you should be their long-term strategy and how should they approach the exam?
Say that firstly they need to be very clear with the syllabus as well as with the previous year questions, because syllabus gives you an idea about what to study, and the previous year questions would give you an idea about how to study them, like what to focus, what not to focus, and things like that. And then you can actually start charting out your strategy about what you want to achieve in the next 1 year, then break it down into months, and then break it down into days or weeks. So that kind of granular strategy actually helps you a lot in achieving your targets step by step. So that's what I think should be the way forward.
Do you think that enrolling in a coaching is important in order to crack the civil services exam?
I did it on my own because I would like to quote exactly what my senior told me when I was actually beginning this journey. So he said that if you are starting from zero, then the coaching can definitely be a good hand-holding thing for you. But if you have already achieved something that you think that you are already at a particular level, then the coaching can only be a drag on your preparation, because they would not run at your pace. So that's why I decided not to go for coaching and prepare it on my own.
What, according to you, are the most common mistakes that UPSC aspirants do while preparing for this exam?
The most common thing that I have seen is that people apply the same strategy year after year and just hope that they would pass the exam. So definitely the most important thing I would suggest is that one should understand what mistake one is doing, and then try to learn from those mistakes and rectify them. That is the most important thing, which many people I think miss. And secondly, I would say that not recognizing the importance of a peer group, because although I studied from my home, but I had a peer group online. So that is another thing which needs to be kept in mind for examinations like the UPSC.
How to keep oneself motivated during the preparation of this exam?
Say that there are two important components to this. Firstly, a bit of lethargy would set in, and in my opinion, I believe that is the time when you should actually focus on your hobbies as well, because you have to give the personality test also, and a bit of pursuance of hobby also helps in rejuvenation. So I used to read about dinosaurs or whatever evolutionary science I like to read, and apart from that, for motivation, that has to come from within. Like once you have your goal set in mind, and there was also kind of parental nudge, so because I was preparing from home itself, so those kind of factors actually helped me stay motivated to see my dream and what I wanted to become, as well as the parental nudge. So I think these were the factors which helped me not just be motivated, but also try to utilize the lethargic time effectively.
Which is the toughest stage out of prelims, mains, and interview, according to you, and why?
I would say that for me personally, the prelims was the toughest, because it was the most dicey thing. You would never know whether you would be able to qualify it or not, because even on your best of day, the paper might not be very well supportive of your strategy or for your preparation. So although it was not a difficulty or in laborious terms, but still it was difficult because it was tricky. So that would be my take on it.
In your view, what was different in your preparation than the all the other aspirants which made you the AIR one? How was your preparation a notch above the rest? What was different in your strategy which no one else did?
It would be difficult to say that no one else did. It is just that matter of luck as well as implementation, I would say. So between my first and second attempt, the most important thing was learning that only hard work does not help you succeed with this examination. So what I did, I was not able to clear prelims in my first attempt. So I took out the previous 3-year papers and tried to analyze every particular statement and how that particular statement is being made right or wrong. Like what are the elements? Then I made a kind of chart about which element has how much probability of being right or wrong. So that helped me drew my own heuristics. Like the parent organization was consistently wrong all the 3 years. So that was a heuristic that wherever I see this initiative has been taken by, let us say, World Health Organization, that statement would almost surely be wrong. So those kind of heuristics helped me between my first and second attempt. Then between the second and third attempt, the other thing played an important part. Firstly, the peer group, because that time I had a peer group because of something called the MMP by Sachin Arora sir. So I learned a lot from the copies of other people. We were writing the same answers. I was comparing my answers with them, and I was noting down what I could have done better based on what they have written. Secondly, I talked to a few of my IPS batchmates because I was already in service. So I asked them about what differently they did in, let us say, GS1 or GS2. In whichever paper they were scoring at least 15 or more marks ahead of me. So those kind of targeted strategies for each paper actually helped me a lot in gaining marks.
Students face some difficulty in deciding their optional subject. According to you, how should one select the optional subject?
So in my opinion, the most important factors are two. Firstly, you should have confidence that you would be able to score good in that paper. For me, that came from my background because I was decently good in my electrical engineering in college. So I was hopeful I would be good here too. And secondly, I would say that the amount of material that you think you can get. For example, for electrical, many people had already charted out the territory, and we knew which books to refer, what exact chapters are important in those books. So that kind of material availability is also an important factor, I would say.
How to keep oneself calm and composed in front of the interview panel?
That I think comes with practice, because even I was told in my interview feedbacks, mock interview feedbacks, that I knew that I was nervous during the first 2 or 3 minutes, but they told me that it doesn't show on my face. So that is something you have to practice in order to get. And when you don't know any answer, you should be calm thinking, and again you'll have to practice for that. You should think that not every question can be answerable, because any way we are humans, and we cannot know everything. But then you should have the calmness and the humbleness, also humility, also to say that sorry, I'm not sure about this fact, and I'll read more about it. So these things you should have in mind, and then you should practice to make it your second nature. And I think that's how you can actually remain calm and composed in an interview.
How to answer the interview questions which can reflect your ideology on the matter and you might not appear as neutral.
I would say that ideology, it depends on what kind of ideology we are referring to here. But in most of the cases, if it is a political ideology,
Right.
we should refrain from from deviating from the constitutional standpoint. And the most important thing that is important for a civil servant is political neutrality. So
Right.
that is again important to show there. So if a question is asked which tests your ideology or your political leaning,
Right.
then you must try to stick to the facts and the laws as much as possible. And that would actually help you gain ground and even gain more marks, because those are the questions which are actually free hits for you. If you're able to stick to the laws and the constitution, then you will definitely ace the interview in those questions.
Which books did you use for your UPSC preparation?
Firstly, I do not believe in the myth that you have to read each and every NCRT from 6th to 12th.
Okay.
For NCRTs, I only read 11th and 12th class geography and ancient and medieval old NCRT history, I am saying. Then for modern history, I read Spectrum. These are the things for prelims. Then for you keep reminding me the subjects. For economy, I read Sriram IS, I think, booklet. Then for polity, I read Lakshmikant and the Bare Act of the Constitution.
Is it possible for a person from a non law background to go through the bare act of the Constitution?
I would say that yes, because we are already reading the bare act of the Constitution. And in the
Right.
UPSC paper also, if you see, they just twist a few words here and there. They would make shall as may, and the question, the meaning of the question exactly changes. So that made me realize that you need to be conversant with the exact words of the Constitution. And so I referred to the bare act. Now at this point, though, I am a bit more comfortable with the legal language, but
Right.
at that time, I was a bit less comfortable, but I got the knack of focusing on the exact words. So that way it was important.
Okay.
What are the things that you are looking forward to accomplish once you are on field working as an IS officer?
That firstly, I'm excited to go on the field
Right.
and learn whatever I can, especially as an officer under trainee.
Right.
because that is the time we get the opportunity to learn from the subordinate officers as from as grassroots level as the patwaris and all.
Right.
So that would actually help me get a knack of what's actually happening on the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say that going ahead, I would the my first responsibility would be to implement the schemes as they are, because during the first 10-15 years you are just the implementer, you are not the policy formulator. When I get the chance of policy formulation, then I'll definitely like to work for health and education as a
Right.
priority, because those are the things that can actually help India become a Viksit Bharat, which is the ambition.
Right.
So that would be my take on it.
We thank you, Aditya, for taking our time to talk to Lawpolitan, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors.